Thanks, Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. Today, in the release of the Defence Strategic Review and the government's response, is a vote of confidence in the Australian defence industry. It's a vote of confidence in saying that we need a sovereign defence industrial base in this country if we are truly to be independent and sovereign and have supply chain resilience. And two great examples of that within the DSR is the commitment to manufacture guided weapons and explosive ordnance within Australia as soon as possible. Secondly is the commitment to continuous shipbuilding in this country. Around 100,000 Australians rely on the defence industry for their employment. They're a critical part of our national defence effort, and we expect strong future orders for them, particularly in advanced manufacturing around building ships, building nuclear-propelled submarines, and building some of the most advanced missiles in the world today. Importantly, this review also recommends, and the government has accepted, significant reforms to defence procurement to increase the speed of our acquisitions. With the disappearance of the 10-year warning horizon for a major regional conflict, defence acquisition must speed up. We must also embrace more risk in that process with good policies to surround that risk, but we need to give the ADF the equipment they need as soon as possible. Importantly, this builds on important defence procurement reforms that the Deputy Prime Minister and I announced in October last year to make sure that the money we spend in defence is spent wisely and effectively. We inherited 28 projects running 97 years late cumulatively, and we need to do much better, and we are working hard on that right now. The review also goes to innovation and the need to strengthen and sharpen defence innovation, and that is something this government is embracing wholeheartedly. Towards the end of this year, we'll be releasing a defence industrial development strategy that articulates how we'll grow that sovereign industrial base to support the ADF, not just today, but into the future. Importantly, as the Deputy Prime Minister said, this review and the government's response involves taking hard decisions. The last government cut $12 billion from defence since 2016 and added $42 billion of additional spending commitments without a single other project being changed. We are being honest and transparent with the Australian people and saying that we do need to reprioritise, and that includes changing some projects. Most notably, in our attempts to modernise the Army and reshape it, make it effective working in a littoral environment, we are reducing the number of infantry fighting vehicles we're acquiring under Land 400 from 450 to 129. That will equip a mechanised battalion as part of a combined arms brigade. But importantly, the money and resources are freed up from that endeavour, and a cancellation of a second regiment of self-propelled howitzers will fund the acceleration and expansion of high mobility artillery rocket system, HIMARS, rocket systems that have been used so effectively in the Ukraine conflict, and to expand and accelerate the acquisition of land-based maritime strike to give the Australian Army significant range and projection. We'll also be accelerating and expanding the acquisition of landing craft, both medium and heavy, to transport Army assets where we need to get them to be. So at the end of this process, we'll go from an Australian Army where the maximum range of its weapons is 40 kilometres to being able to fire missiles initially over a range of 300 kilometres, and with the acquisition of the precision strike missile ranges in excess of 500 kilometres. This is about giving the Australian Army the firepower and mobility it needs into the future to face whatever it needs to face.